Through local resident elections, Russia has annexed some of Ukraine into its own territory. Luhansk and Kherson were two of the four Ukrainian regions that were up for resident vote in Russia before the annexation. There was debate over whether the vote was coerced and whether the principle of secret ballots, such as the use of a transparent ballot box, was followed because the annexation of each of the four regions received an overwhelming majority of votes. Today, let's learn about the principles of voting and election. What is voting? One can voice their opinion on a matter by voting. In democratic nations, voting is frequently employed to elect public officials. Voting is one of the most fundamental and significant procedures in a democracy and is how citizens exercise their sovereignty. Election, voting, principles. Several improvements from earlier times, when democracy was not yet fully developed, helped to construct the voting and election procedures used today. However, in some countries, a voting method is still used as a formal procedure without the will of the majority, such as forced voting. In order to prevent voting from degrading into a mere formality like this, democratic countries established the four principles of elections so that the people's true will is reflected. They are the principles of universal, equal, direct, and secret elections. First, the principle of universal elections refers to giving the right to vote to all citizens of a particular legal age. All citizens can vote regardless of social status. Next, the principle of equal elections is that each person can cast one vote regardless of their status, property, gender, educational background, etc. Third, the principle of direct elections states that the person who has the right to vote must vote for themselves, and no one else can vote instead of them. Finally, the principle of secret elections is that who votes for which candidate must be kept strictly confidential. Rigged election. Elections that violate these principles cannot be considered fully reflecting the will of the people, so it is hard to recognize their democratic legitimacy. This is referred to as rigged elections. One of the most common types of rigged elections is called bribed elections. It is convincing voters to vote for a specific candidate by giving money and valuables to them. There is also the swapping of ballot boxes or cheating during the counting process.